Lee Carsley's new progressive style of play for the England national team has brought a fresh approach to the squad. Known for his emphasis on high pressing, fluid ball movements, and creative attacking patterns, Carsley is reshaping England into a more dynamic, forward-thinking side. Here is how you can recreate his tactics in FC24. During the games versus Ireland as well as Finland, we saw Lee Carsley deploy his side in a 4-2-3-1. This is down to the adaptability that this formation presents to the side. You will see them pressing in a very aggressive 4-4-2 system, or even once they have established themselves in the game, they will look to evolve their natural structure into a 3-2-4-1 attacking system, looking to overload and overwhelm the opposition higher up the field. The new England manager has decided to bring a modern twist to his tactical setup. We'll start off with the defensive approach, and the defensive style should be set to press after possession loss, looking to implement a very aggressive counter-pressing system. We saw in both games versus Ireland as well as Finland, quite often England would aggressively press higher up the field, looking to really disturb and disrupt any offensive rhythms that the opposition were trying to generate, often leading to turnover opportunities, and that also led to a Harry Kane goal or two. Now, for that aggressive counter-pressing system, you do require a bit of team stretch and width to be implemented, and that's why I have set this to 65. Quite often we saw the likes of Anthony Gordon as well as Saka pressing from those wider areas, but this will also create a very good aggressive man-v-man counter-pressing system. Along with the aggressive press, you will require a nice high line, having the centre-backs play higher up, and you will also see, even with the back four system, a three-back formula, having the likes of Levi Colwill stay a bit further back, looking to combine very effectively with the likes of Mark Guehi as well as Harry Maguire. This also means that the centre-backs will be very important in trying to establish that offensive play, looking to play passes into either the midfield or further forward into the attackers. The offensive setup has definitely changed compared to what we saw under the likes of Gareth Southgate. Now under Carsley, they tend to build their attacks from the back, looking for the centre-backs as well as the two defensive midfielders to be able to successfully establish an offensive platform for the rest of the side to generate an attacking outlet off of. So for the build-up play, it should be set to slow build-up, as you will see the goalkeeper play to the centre-backs and then having them progress the ball high up the field into the midfield and then into the attack and then hopefully into the back of the net. The chance creation will be set to possession, as we did see the likes of England dominate the likes of Finland as well as Ireland in possession, looking to rotate the ball, looking to have multiple passing options at all times, looking to really keep the opposition in their own half with the ball in possession of the England side. The width of the team should be set to 85, as we either saw the likes of Saka or Trent Alexander-Arnold down that right-hand side, or potentially the likes of Anthony Gordon down the left-hand side looking to attack from those wider areas, creating a lot of cutback and crossing opportunities in the box for the likes of Harry Kane and the various other attackers that were in the final third. That is why for the players in the box, I have set this to 7, allowing for 3 to 4 players to be involved in those attacking areas. Finally, the corners as well as the free kicks should be set to 4. And this tactical setup will also apply to the 3-2-4-1 attacking system. Onto the individual player roles and instructions, we'll start off at the back with the goalkeeper and Jordan Pickford, who will be set to maintaining a balanced approach for saving on crosses, as well as playing as a sweeper keeper. In this role, he will be vital to looking to play those shorter balls into the centre-backs and then having them establish that play further forward. Your two centre-backs in Harry Maguire as well as Mark Guehi, at least for the base formation, will be set to their base set of instructions. You don't need to make too many changes about that. They will be very important in playing those shorter balls into them and then having them play the ball further forward, but also they present a very good physical threat in the air, trying to outduel the opposition for any potential attacking threats fired into the box from those wider zones. The left back in Levi Colwill will be set to staying back while attacking, as he often tends to stay back and formulate a 3-back formation when the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold would attack down that right-hand space. So that is why you would want the likes of Maguire, Guehi, and Colwill to be able to formulate a successful defensive base in case the opposition were able to break in transition. But the other instructions will be set to normal interceptions as well as a mixed run type, as we did see the likes of Colwill tuck in and stay a bit closer to the likes of Maguire, or even at times get slightly higher up the field and be able to combine very effectively in those wider spaces. And that is more or less what you are trying to incorporate with this left back role. Now, the right back role for the side will have various different instructional changes as you progress higher up the field and you are looking to implement a more attacking style of play. As Trent Alexander-Arnold has shown that he can play as a traditional fullback, looking to stay on the touchline, bomb up and down that right-hand side and whip in crosses and cutback opportunities. And that is what he will produce in this role as a right back. He'll be set to join the attack as well as overlap, often looking to combine with Saka or the likes of Rice in that right-hand space. The double pivot of Declan Rice as well as Kobbie Mainoo provided a lot of attacking threats whilst also maintaining a lot of defensive stability in those central areas. So for the role of Kobbie Mainoo, he'll be set to maintaining a balanced defensive behavior, allowing him to be in all phases of the play, allowing him to adapt to what the opposition were trying to throw at this England side, and overcome it and win the ball back effectively. The attacking support for Kobbie Mainoo, yes, he would venture up the field every now and then looking to add aggressive overloads, but his main natural positioning was in those deeper spaces, looking to try and be the deep line playmaker at times, or even just being the natural shield to this backline area. The interception should be set to normal, and then as I've mentioned, he should be the deep line playmaker, and Declan Rice will also have a very similar role, but you want this double pivot being able to drop into those deeper spaces, collect the ball from the centre backs or even from the goalkeeper, and then successfully establish an offensive platform for the other attackers or the attacking midfielder to build up off of. Whereas the likes of Declan Rice will have a slight tweak and variation to his game, as he was allowed to venture forward a lot more. You want him to be able to be that box-to-box presence quite a bit, looking to add overloads high up the field, aggressively looking to overwhelm the opposition. We saw in the game versus Ireland, he was able to be very involved in the attacking play, scoring a goal as well as assisting the likes of Jack Grealish for the second. So you want him progressing higher up and creating successful overloads in those attacking final third areas. Now, in order to successfully balance out this box-to-box role, you want him to be very involved in that first phase build-up play, and that's why I have also set him to being the deep line playmaker. This will successfully have him in those deeper zones, looking to successfully build the ball out from the back. The role of the number 10 and Jack Grealish was allowed the freedom to drift all over the place, whether it was out wide, combining with the wingers, or potentially staying central and combining with the two defensive midfielders, or even the likes of Harry Kane. Now, for his role and instructions, you want him to be able to come back on defense, looking for him to drop quite deep at times, get on the ball in those deep areas, and then drive at the opposition, looking to create aggressive attacking overloads in those attacking zones. For the support on crosses, he will be set to staying on the edge of the box for the cross, as he does tend to do his best work facilitating the offense on the edge of the area before working his way into that attacking zone to maybe get on the end of a potential cross or cutback opportunity. We saw in the game versus Ireland again, the cutback from the likes of Declan Rice for him to ping the ball into the back of the net himself. As mentioned, he does have the freedom to drift all over the place, and he mainly did so down at the left-hand channel, but he was very involved in all phases, in all areas of the play, as that central focus point and the creative spark for the side. And then finally, the interception should be set to aggressive, as both the likes of Harry Kane as well as Jack Grealish were tasked with trying to occupy the opposition centre-backs with the build-up play, looking to press them aggressively and really hurry up their offensive build-up play. Your two wingers in Bukayo Saka as well as Anthony Gordon also have slightly differing roles, but they do have one thing in common, and that was the defensive support, looking for the two wingers to consistently drop back and help support the two fullbacks in those wider zones. Now, the chance creation for Bukayo Saka will be set to maintaining a balanced width, as we did see him enter those central zones a fair amount, looking to combine with the likes of a Declan Rice or a Jack Grealish and opening up space for the marauding Trent Alexander-Arnold to overlap him and create that space down the right-hand side. But you will see them balance out their attacking run patterns at times, with Saka hugging the touchline and acting as a more natural touchline winger. The support runs for Saka will be set to balance, as he does tend to make those aggressive runs in behind, posing as a bit more of a direct attacking threat down the right-hand side, but he can also tend to come short and link up the play with the central players. The interceptions will be set to normal, and then the support on crosses should be left unbalanced. For the left winger in Anthony Gordon, he'll be set to come back on defense, as I've already mentioned, but for the chance creation as well as the support runs, you will see him being the out there ball, adding that aggressive pace that the side has often missed in the past to the current team, having the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold ping those longer balls in behind, and you would see Anthony Gordon stretching the opposition, making them very wary of his aggressive attacking pace in behind their backline areas. So that is why a get in behind approach is required, as well as a balance width. We would often see him out wide, hugging the touchline, looking to create from that wider left channel, but also you would see him at times arc his runs into the central zones and provide that aggressive direct play. The interceptions will be set to normal, and then finally you want his support on crosses to be set to balance, as he does tend to whip in crosses or even get into the box himself and be an attacking threat in those central zones. The role of Harry Kane hasn't changed too much under the likes of Lee Carsley. You will still see him being able to drift all over the place, stay centrally at times, be the focal point in the attack, or even being able to drop quite deep, playing as a false nine, dropping into the deeper pockets, collecting the ball, and then looking to link the play, whether that's with the midfielders around him or potentially out wide to the attacking wingers. The interceptions will be set to aggressive, as you do want him pressing the opposition's backline or even the goalkeeper at times, closing down the space, winning the ball back, and then creating swift transition attacking moments. And then, of course, the defensive support will be set to basic, as you do tend to see him at times dropping quite deep, looking to help defend with the rest of the side, or even being the outlet ball, having the ability to hold up the play and link it up with the attackers in and around him. Now, a key area of difference that we have seen between the likes of Gareth Southgate's England and Lee Carsley's England has been the offensive structure that this team looks to morph into. You will see a 3-2-4-1 system generate, and this often allows for aggressive attacking overloads to occur higher up the field. We'll start off at the base with the goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, who will maintain his same instructions as before, a balanced approach for saving on crosses as well as playing as that sweeper keeper. The three centre-backs in Colwell, Maguire and Guehi will be set to various different instructions. The two wider centre-backs in Guehi as well as Colwell, they'll be set to overlap, as you do want them overloading in those wider zones, adding to the attacking threats in those wider areas as much as possible, but also being able to cover those wider zones with wide defensive play. The central centre-back in Harry Maguire will be very important, but he will be set to his base role and instructions. You don't need him changing too much, but he will also be very important in looking to play those longer balls out wide into the two wingers. The base of your midfield contains Mainu as well as Trent Alexander-Arnold, as he will successfully look to invert into the midfield zones, being deployed as a deep-lying playmaker in that number 6 role. So he'll be set to maintaining a balanced defensive behavior as well as a balanced attacking support. You will see for both Mainu as well as Trent that they have the freedom to get forward and attack if needed or required. The interceptions will be set to normal, and then, like I mentioned, both Trent as well as Mainu will both be deployed as deep-lying playmakers, dropping into the space, showing for that ball in that first phase of the build-up play, and looking to really establish an offensive platform for the others to be able to build up off of. The likes of Kobe Mainu will be set to identical instructions, as you will see him do a very similar role to Trent Alexander-Arnold, minus the long ball attacking approach. The two number 10s in Declan Rice as well as Jack Grealish will have two very different roles. The likes of Declan Rice will be instructed to come back on defense, and at times you will even see him in his own box looking to defend against the opposition. The support on crosses will be set to balance, as we do tend to see Declan Rice getting into the box a fair amount, looking to attack the opposition in those central attacking zones, or even being on the edge of the box looking to help rotate the play or even facilitate an attacking opportunity. The positioning freedom for Rice will be set to stick to position, as we do tend to see him more or less operating in that wider right space, looking to combine frequently with the likes of Bukayo Saka. Finally, the interceptions should be set to normal, whereas the left attacking midfielder will be set to his same role and instructions as before: free roam, stay on the edge of the box, come back on defense, as well as aggressive interceptions. A player like Bukayo Saka won't really change too much with what he's doing when in the 4-back or the 3-back system, so you will see him still looking to come back on defense, and due to the fact that you won't naturally have wider fullbacks to try and defend in those wider spaces, you will see the likes of Gordon as well as Saka dropping back a fair amount to defend in those wider zones. The transgression will still be left on balance, as well as the support runs left on balance, and then finally normal interceptions and then a balanced crossing run. Especially in this formation, you do require the two wingers to be able to successfully feed the players in the box with crosses or cutback opportunities. Now, the likes of Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side will have a slight change to his natural positioning, and that will be stay wide. When this formation was formulated, you would often see the two wingers hugging the touchlines very aggressively. Now, Saka was slightly different, as he would interchange with Rice, but Gordon would aggressively hug the touchline, looking to create chances from that wider left space. But otherwise, the support runs will still be set to get in behind, as he does pose that aggressive threat with the space in behind, as well as normal interceptions and then a balanced crossing run. And then, just like with before, Harry Kane will still maintain the same role and instructions. You don't need him doing too many different things compared to the 4-2-3-1, aggressively closing down the opposition backline, playing as a false line, dropping into that space, combining and linking the play very nicely with the likes of a Grealish or Rice or Saka or an Anthony Gordon, and then the freedom, of course, to really balance out his attacking runs, whether it's slightly out wide or potentially centrally being the focal point and linking the play. And there you go, people. That is how I would go ahead and successfully recreate Lee Carsley's England tactics from the first two games against Ireland as well as Finland during the international break. I do hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you don't mind smashing that like button down below, as well as subscribing if you are new to the channel and you like the content that I am creating on a daily basis. So anyways, I hope you have a smashing goddamn day. I'm out of here. Peace.